The economy rebounded last year, growing by 7.5%, powered by the lifting of COVID-19 restrictions as compared to a contraction of 0.3% in 2020. This is according to the latest economic survey report that indicates that the economy was lifted by the manufacturing, hospitality and logistics sector. However, National Treasury Cabinet Secretary Ukur Yatani projects the economy to slow this year under the weight of high fuel prices.
COVID-19 restrictions pushed to contract 0.3% in 2020, the first contraction in nearly 3 decades. However, the lifting of the restrictions and gradual reopening up of countries lifted economic activities, with Kenya rebounding to register a growth rate of 7.5%. This was driven by growth in sectors such as education at 214%, accommodation and food services at 52.5%, financial and insurance at 12.5%, while manufacturing rebound from a contraction of 0.4% in 2020 to 6.9%.
Overall, the country's economic performance for the year 2021 expanded by 7.5% compared to a decline of 0.3% in 2020.
Agriculture, which is the backbone of Kenya's economy, contracted 0.1% compared to a growth of 5.2% in 2020 due to poor and erratic rains.
It may be noted that the agricultural sector recorded a mixed performance, recording a contraction of 0.1% in 2021 compared to a more impressive growth of 5.2% in the year 2020. When all sectors failed to show any signs of growth, agriculture stood out with a growth of 5.2% 2020.
The value of trade increased by 26.3% to 2.9 trillion shillings. The value of exports rose to 743.7 billion shillings from 643.7 billion shillings during the previous year, with agriculture dominating the exports. On the other hand, the value of imports increased to 2.1 trillion shillings from 1.6 trillion shillings in 2020, with balance of trade widening 40% to 1.4 trillion shillings.
To continue accessing the international markets, noting that the number of reduced flights in and out of the country at that time, because when in and out flights were reduced, the challenges of the air freight was a big problem, and the government came in, gave subsidy, gave incentives, and as a result of this, they were kept afloat. These interventions were aimed at supporting the sustenance of our farming and communities by providing continued gainful employment for thousands of workers in the sector.
Even though Yatani expects the economy to continue growing, he says the growth is unlikely to match the 2021 figure due to rising inflation, higher fuel prices, and a weaker shilling. Reporting for Prime Edition, I am Teresa Mutai.